Hey guys, I'm Alyse,
And I'm John.
and we are the Heart of Austin Homes team here in Austin, of all
We
places.
still are. And so we're going to talk about some stats today. It's
Yeah,
been a bit
100%.
since we've done a hot or not.
Yeah, and we always explain this every single time, but in order to be able to do the September stats, we have to wait until October, and where all the stats are in and for sure recorded, so that we actually have some accurate ones. But there's some interesting stuff going on, and we're super
In
excited to
the
share with you.
market. So before we get into like numbers, like I love the numbers, we can just talk about like the general high level thing, like how you feel about this market. So you do you and then I'll do me.
You
Yeah.
last year felt slow and hard to get people sold.
hmm
Earlier this year felt slow and hard to get people
And this
sold.
summer especially.
And I
Right.
do feel like buyers are sick of waiting,
Yeah.
that they're starting to get slightly better rates, and that sellers are getting more realistic about pricing.
Yep.
And so last year it felt like we were fighting so hard to get a buyer and a seller to come,
hmm
together. Um, and this year it feels more like we're able to match make, if you will.
Yeah, and especially this fall, right?
Yeah,
Even September has been a significant
100%.
change because, and we're going to see this in the stats later, there's a big price drop between the median price in August to September. It's like 20%, right? So that's people just getting tired. They made it into summer and they're like, shit, my house hasn't sold. I can say that on YouTube, right?
Yeah, you can say that.
Um, and so now people are going like, look, I got to drop it to the point where it's actually going to sell,
Yeah, definitely.
right?
I think sellers, if they've been sitting all summer, um, see the fall coming and realize that it's now or never, and get a little bit more extra realistic on pricing. And sometimes it's really painful to have those conversations because you're saying, like, look, yeah, maybe if you wait till spring, but also maybe not. And right now we're looking market stale and we're hitting the fall, and they're going to be theoretically less buyers. What's interesting about that is that there are actually, it seems, and we see from the stats,
hmm
more things closing, more things selling,
Yep.
but not necessarily at higher prices. Buyers are coming to the table partially because they see deals to be had right now.
Yeah, the sales have upticked a little bit. It feels like we've hit bottom. Maybe there's a little bit more to go. Hard to say exactly. We'll go through some of the numbers, but it feels like we're actually going to turn out of it.
Yeah,
Right.
that
So
is that
it's
is a
just
general
a gut feeling, right?
feeling and stats-ish look at the
Okay.
moment.
So let's talk some real numbers.
Yeah, 100%. Let's go straight to price. So for the
Sheet.
entire cheat sheet,
Sheet.
for the entire city of Austin, for the month of September, the median home price, and this is just
Yeah.
for single-family homes, was
So
at
no condos, no townhouses.
was at 590.
Which
Uh,
is still like that feels high to me, right?
yeah,
Like I remember when that number was like 550, 560, and maybe even touched 600.
I mean, gosh, you know,
And I'm
20
I'm
years
trying to
ago
remember what
that
it
was in
was
the
in
300s, right?
2021 and 2022, right? But it still feels high. Like the median incomes in Austin are the slowly climbing way. We still have
Yeah.
good like 5% wage growth,
hmm
but that number is still pretty high, right?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, it's
And
not, we're not talking like Europe, you know,
no, it's not
10,
like San
15, 20%,
Francisco, where
20
it's like
times
a
your
hundred,
income.
it's like 1.2 million or higher in San Francisco, and
Yeah.
I think Seattle's like 8 or 900,000.
Well, and now that people are able to be more mobile, I think that they're able to choose Austin
hmm
over those other cities. And as a result, Austin's still looking like a cheaper option
Yeah,
because you can get a nice place for
yeah,
500 bucks. It
and
might
and
not be, a super duper primo place, but
yeah.
maybe it would be.
And that's the median price.
Yeah.
Like if you go to the outskirts, like you can find like new construction on the outskirts is getting quite affordable. I mean, I've even seen some stuff in the high twos. You got to get a little bit further out there, but there's even some new construction in the threes,
Yep.
right? And it's
And they
like a
give you
starter home.
they give you great rates
Yeah,
too
you do
because
get good rates.
they bundle their loans together and are able to get a
Yeah,
discount.
but if you're in town, then that number's just going to go up.
So last year, though, that median home price for homes that sold in September was at 620. So that's actually down almost 5% from last year. It's
Yeah.
not everybody's like sky is falling, it's down 20% and things
Okay.
like that, and it's not.
But this is the crazy number,
Yeah, this
right?
one I think is really just a seasonal
Yeah.
question.
But so in August, just 1 month ago, the median price of a home that sold, right? Doesn't mean it's the median value for all homes in Austin. It's just the ones that happen to sell. It's like this is what people were asking. Was 642,000,
Which
right?
means it went down 8% between August and September of this year. So
Yeah,
that
so
to me,
50,000 from 642 to 690 in 1 month, right?
that's that stat we were
That's a
talking.
lot.
That's that stat we were talking about that our best guess based off of being so boots on the ground and doing a good number of deals, is that that was because sellers were getting to the end of summer. They've been sitting because only the shiniest, best price stuff is
Yeah.
selling quickly right now.
Hmm.
Some of that stuff is even getting multiple offers if it's shiny
Yeah.
and well priced.
I had a buyer who went through multiple offers last month.
Yeah, but it's really not uncommon for things to sit 2, 3 months, even some of them 4 or 5 months right now. And by the time you get to that and you're at the end of summer and you're going, "Gosh, it's fall,
Yep.
buyers are gonna drop
Yep.
off." So I think sellers were just
They're moving to where like a buyer would actually show up.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, because
And
what would happen is we'd have like, let's say 20 houses in a micro market, maybe 2 of them would look really good. Uh, and then they'd also be priced the most aggressively. And those 2 were where all the buyers were going. And then the other 18 would look okay, they're fine, they're clean, they're perfectly good house, but they're just not exciting and they're not priced right. And so like they just all sat. And
yeah,
so September is the month where we saw people go like, okay, let's get real.
yeah. Well, and September is that month where, if you have kids in school, you do not wanna close in September. You don't want your kids having just started school and you're trying to
Trying
move
to
and you're
move.
trying yeah,
Oof.
this, that, and the other. So combine that with a slower time on the market period, and so sellers really started, I think, get realistic on pricing,
Yeah,
which as
yeah.
painful as that is. And then number of sales is actually really relevant as
Yeah, this is a
well.
fun one
So for September, that was at 699 sales for
for
the
the
city of
entire
Austin
city, right?
for single family
Single
homes.
family home, still not a lot. 700 houses is it's not that many people moving in
Yeah.
a city of almost a million people.
And that is up 125-ish from
Hmm.
last year. It was at 574
Yeah.
last year.
So prices go down, numbers of
Yeah.
transactions go up, right?
Yeah. And also buyers just got burned out on waiting, I feel like.
Yep.
Compared to last month though.
But last month was 751, so it actually went down a little bit month
Yeah.
over month,
Yeah.
right?
And that's that seasonal thing, right?
Yeah.
A good portion of the population. It's funny because people are like, yeah, but I'm moving into a condo and there aren't very many people with kids there. I was like, yes, but the kid the family population influences the rest of the market because it just, that little bit of extra demand of also
Mhm.
having families looped in there, will affect the market. So when they drop off, it affects everything else, even if it's not necessarily uh, lending itself to families for that type of housing.
Yeah. And so the median days on market is how long it takes for properties to sell. Like, I mean, just not a couple of years ago, this number was like 7, right?
Yeah,
Or 14.
7 days.
And so now it's back to actually, it's a pretty reasonable number. It's 51, so
Yeah,
almost 2 months. Still technically considered a seller's market if
yeah,
it's below 90. But we're impatient now. If we hit the button and it doesn't show up right away, we're like, what the heck is going on? My mind is breaking. So 51 days is a long
yeah.
time
We got
for,
spoiled on that time
yeah,
period of
for,
things going. Not just we, but I mean sellers in
yep,
general are like, it didn't sell in the first week. Something is wrong.
yeah.
And one thing to note is that historically, 3 to 6 months was considered a normal amount of time for a
Yep.
home to sit and wait for a buyer. So the fact that we got spoiled on 7 to 14 days being normal, means we've kind of got our expectations. And it might be just that we're in kind of an instant gratification
Yeah, I
culture.
think so, right? Like people are just like they want to move a lot faster, and so now 51 days feels longer than it should. So in my mind, we should really kind of reset what it means to be in a buyer's market and a seller's market.
Yeah,
Now, real estate's local, of course, so this is just in Austin. That's going to be very different than like Livingston, Montana, or something like that.
100%.
But 51 days is kind of like it feels balanced, right?
Livingston, Montana is a cool place.
It is. It is. Let's not get sidetracked. But it feels more balanced, right? Like if anything, buyers have more power of negotiation right now because just from what we're seeing, we got more sellers than buyers, right? So buyers have a bit more of an edge for sure.
And then for all of Austin, the total number of available homes, as of the end of September was 967. I mean, if you're
That's
seeing
that's
700
still a small number,
sell in a
right?
month, having 967 available isn't a crazy
No,
amount.
no. I
Yeah,
mean, but the fact it's taking 51 days, like that,
yeah.
that feels weird. Because like, well, hey, if I'm selling 700 and I've only got 900 on the market, there's
But
some
you have,
overlap.
you
Yeah,
have some people going on hold, some people
and they
withdrawing, some
pinned
people,
and all that
yeah,
stuff.
yeah,
Um,
100%.
but it doesn't feel like a lot of homes. Like I remember first getting into this was back, gosh, I don't even remember when that was, but there'd be like 2,000 homes or something
Yeah,
on the market in all of Austin, and
yeah,
so
yeah.
900 still feels like not a lot.
And for the whole market, there's something much, much larger in Jackson. So
Yep, yep,
this is just specifically Austin address, single family.
yep.
And that is down just a couple of homes from last month. So the number of homes available this
Not the
month,
same.
967, was 960 last month. Last year, it was 951. So it's really not a drastic change in either way. It's like 1 or 2% for each of those. So that's very interesting. Do you want to talk about South Austin?
I love talking about South Austin.
Just talking
Okay, so when we say South Austin, we mean the 4 zip codes like west of
35.
is because we go east 35 too. It's 45, 49, 39, 48.
Yeah.
So that's like Circle C, Shady Hollow,
Yep.
Brody, all that good stuff,
Yep.
right? So we do it's east and west of 35. Just the zip
100%.
codes immediately east and west of 35. Um, I'm sorry, of one west of
Yeah,
35.
I was gonna
Sorry.
say. So the median home price for that is 523,000, which
Yep.
I'm very impressed that that is converging, like you mentioned earlier,
Yep.
converging on Austin. South Austin has usually been.
Yeah, that gap used to be much bigger, right?
I bet you some of that is that because rates are higher, buyers are having to go to what would normally be the slight outskirts
Hmm.
around Austin. And so it may just be a factor of which homes are actually selling
Yep.
versus which are not. That the median home price for a sold home is
It's just going down.
is just going down for the whole city,
Mhm.
but going up for the areas where people can actually afford to buy.
Yeah, yeah.
So
So it's just pushing people a little bit further out, which makes sense.
yeah,
I don't think that number will actually ever match Austin exactly, but it is interesting to see it close. I mean, over time, like as cities get bigger, it probably will, but that might take a couple more years. We'll see. And so let's see. Last year that number was 560, and so it's gone down to 523.
yeah, it's like 6.6%.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So 560. Well, of course, when it's 560, the city number was 620, so that delta stayed the same.
What's interesting though is remember how the median price for the whole city had gone down substantially from August to September.
Mm-hmm.
This one actually went up
Up.
like 25-ish
Yeah,
thousand
from
dollars, or
499 to
yeah, just
523.
under 5%.
Yeah.
So
So South
South
Austin
Austin,
prices went up from August to September, but
yeah,
in the entire city they went down.
which is interesting.
That
So
is it
South
is fascinating.
Austin's come to its
It is, and those
own.
4 zip codes represent like 129 sales out of the 700 in the entire
That's a
city.
good chunk.
So that's about right,
Yeah,
right? Considering the geographic size of that area.
yeah.
So South Austin is still like a desirable place to go. People want to live there. The days on market is 41 compared to 51, so transactions happen a little bit faster
Yeah.
than average. So people are preferring it to some other areas of the city.
Well, and the amount that the number of sales fell down was not as much as City of Austin. City of Austin, remember, went down from 751 down to 699.
Mhm.
This fell from 135 down to 29, which is only 4.5% drop for
That's total number of sales that
yeah.
she's talking about.
But year over year, it's about the same, right? It went from 120 to 129, so it's up a little bit, but
Yeah, it just means that
pretty
South Austin is
close.
kind of slowly approaching asymptotically. Google it. The value of Austin in itself. It's not there yet, but it's getting close.
So you probably already know this about us, but we totally make tons of math jokes related to absolutely everything. We'll talk about relationships in terms of sine waves and
That's
things
because
like
math is everything.
that. Math is
You can boil everything down to math. It's fun.
well, in active listings, there was 162 in South Austin, and that's up 179 from last month. But it is, and it's also up from 171 last year.
Mhm.
So, but it's not crazy different. Like
No,
all
it's
those
like
numbers are
it's a
pretty
little
close.
fluctuation, but
Yeah.
not. Yeah, I mean, to me, the one striking thing in all the numbers was that big drop in general prices from August to September. That like, hey, it's time to
I
or get
think,
off the pot,
yeah.
right? And so like people were like, hey, I've got
For
to drop the
sellers.
price to get out.
I think that the remarkable thing was year over year number of sales for both South Austin and for all of Austin in general. That buyers are coming back to the table, sellers and buyers are finding a way to meet in the middle, and that things are starting to move.
Yeah, even though rates have been kind of like fixed at
Yeah.
6-ish%, right? They're not moving that much.
Yeah, we keep, the Fed seems like it might, and then it won't.
Yeah, they do these little tiny drops, but they don't really impact the 10-year that much.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
definitely, and I mean, I'm all for trying to keep inflation in check, so I'm not trying to poo-poo that decision at all. Just trying to figure
yeah, it's just watching what happens.
how
Like,
we help sellers and how we help buyers
yeah,
get where
with
they want to
with
go.
with the cards we're dealt.
Yeah, 100%. So that is the market stats. Feel free to let us know if you have any other questions. We're happy to get you full stats on anything. We are very boots on the ground in all of these markets.
It's crowd.
Boots on the ground.
Because
and
it's Texas and they're fire ants. Dang it.
oh my gosh, that's my reminder to go pick up Fiona from the bus. And we'd love to help out. Pass us a line, and we'll see you guys soon.
Okay, we got to go pick up our kid.
Pick up a kid.
Bye, y'all.